Hey you guys, in this video I will show you the first part of making my home brewed blueberry wine at home. Right now what I'm doing is making a simple syrup, which is just sugar and water to add to the wine. So right now what I'm doing is adding about 13 and a half cups of sugar to enough water for it to dissolve. I'm doing it over heat so that it can dissolve properly, but we don't want to get it to the point of boiling. Once we let that dissolve, we will cut it off and let it cool down and set it to the side. Right now what we're going to do is go ahead and sanitize and prepare our equipment, which is basically the bucket, the muslin bag, and also the paddle. What we're using is the star sand to sanitize it with warm water, and then we let this sit for about 5 minutes. This is a no rinse food grade cleaner. To make the wine, what we're using is the Great Value wild blueberries. They're frozen. We use 3 bags, which is about 3.5 pounds. We add our additives, which is the pectic enzyme, yeast nutrient acid blend, and campden tablets. I don't add my yeast right away. I do add my yeast after 24 hours. Before I add the additives, I like to add the remaining gallon of water. I used the carboys in order to make it so that I am correctly adding enough water. The first thing I add is the 3 campden tablets. You will need 1 tablet per gallon. So I'm doing 3 gallons of water. So I added 3 tablets. So right now we're crushing the campden tablets so that they can easily dissolve. And like I said, we're adding 3 campden tablets. What I'm also adding is 3 teaspoons of yeast nutrient, 3 teaspoons of pectic enzyme, and also a teaspoon and a half of acid blend. All right, this is what the simple syrup looks like when it's all cooled down. So what we do is we blend all the additives together. We add our muslin bag so that we can add the bags of fruit. I simply just tie the bag into a knot and it holds up. And at that point, we will add the simple syrup and the remaining 2 gallons of water. All right, so at this point, everything has been stirred together. We added our water. We have all the additives. All we need to do is put the lid onto the container. So I put a lid on the container. I like to keep my batch in a cool, dark place, which would be the floor in my pantry because there is a door. So I can turn the lights on and off as needed, and I just place my batch on the floor in my pantry. So at this point, after 24 hours, I directly add my yeast without stirring to the batch. Today I'm using the bourgovin RC212 yeast. This yeast is good for delicate structures, ripe cherry, bright and fruity characters. This has a alcohol tolerance of up to 16%. I do not stir it, I just add it and put the lid back on. All right, so this is, I think, day 3 of going ahead and stirring the batch. What we're doing is just introducing oxygen to the batch to get it to ferment. On this day, the only thing you see, not very much foam or bubbles or anything right now. You can see on top a little crust that's starting to form over. So all we're doing is going ahead and mixing it all together really, really good right about now. Once we do this, then we'll just put the lid back on. All right, so right here is day number 6, and as you can see, there's foam on top. It's more residual things around the side and everything else. So basically, it is a case of a repetition. All we're going to do is go ahead and stir and mix things together, and we will just put the lid back on top. I'm showing you right now. This is what it's looking like. It's getting nice and foamy. Just scrape everything off the side and just mix it up real good. All right, you guys, this is day number 7. It's just the exact same thing, but it's not a bunch of things on the side. So basically, all I'm doing, once again, is stirring. I am sweeping the bottom to make sure that, things are progressing along. Like I said, this is day number 7, and we'll just put the lid back on.
Day 9. All right, you guys, day number 10. We should be like almost done with the fermentation process. See what we got going on. It's looking real good. Oops. All right. Oops. Did I just spill that on the floor? Still got a little sizzle. Still got a little foam. What we can do at this point is take a reading on it to see if we get it at 0. Let's go ahead and get set up for that. But this is what we're looking at on day number 10. Let's go ahead and take a reading and see what we find out. All right, you guys. So what we have going on is we have a sample in the test tube, and this is called a hydrometer. And what we're aiming for is it to be 0 so that we know the fermentation process is done. I might have to scoot you guys up because this is like right up underneath my cabinets. All right. Nope. If you can see, we are not quite done, even though it would be like, okay, well, you don't have enough liquids. But see, what would happen is if it was at 0, it would be all the way down there. But technically, it's nowhere near that. So I'm going to tell you, we're not done quite yet. When it stops bobbing, we are at, of course I will be sitting here touching it. We're like right there. Wait, can you guys make that out? So because it's not at the 0 line, which there's 0, we're not done fermenting. So we're going to keep it going, put the sample back in there, wait a couple more days, stir, stir, stir. You guys didn't get the whole every single day of me mixing it, me introducing air, but I did every other day. After making so many batches, it's like, oh, okay, it's the exact same thing. Stir it, introduce air. But we're going to go ahead and put this back in and wait a couple more days. Maybe you can hear the fizzing. So we're going to leave this for another day. But this is what we're like on day 13. We're going to keep letting this go. We will just check back tomorrow.
All right, you guys, so this is about day number 14 or 15, and this is going to be the end of part 1. In part 2, you will see where we will start the second stage of fermentation. It is part 2, the clearing stage. In part 2, I will take this batch and separate it into 3 separate 1-gallon carboys. I think I ended up letting this do the first stage of fermentation. It took about 16 days. So stay tuned for part 2, which is the clearing process of the whole making my wine.